Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, June 20th, 2017. I am your host, Ramona Remisat. I'm an intuitive guidance coach, speaker, and co-author of 2 Amazon bestsellers, 365 Ways to Connect with Your Soul and 365 Days of Angel Prayers. You don't have them yet? Get them on Amazon. All right, .com or .ca. Hi, Carol. Boy, you're quick. I like that. Action. So today we are doing something super fun, something I've never done before. I thought rather than me come on here and share information on a topic that I've chosen, why not open it up and do a live Q&A where you guys can come in here and ask me whatever you want, and anything as long as it's to do with angels or metaphysics or spirituality, law of attraction, crystals, all of that sort of good stuff. And if I don't have an answer for you, because I don't claim to know everything, I will do my best to get an answer. And if you are catching this on the replay, don't feel like you missed out. You can still post a question, and I'm going to go through the feed later and make sure that I'm answering everybody's questions. So I think this will be kind of fun. I have about 30 minutes, then I have to run off to an event. I actually have 2 events today, so it's a busy day. But I didn't want to scrap today's Takeaway Tip Tuesday, and I thought this would be really, really fun. So Carol, I'm going to right away ask if there's something in particular you want to ask me. Hi. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a time lag, so go ahead. I'll give you a second there to type something in. Let me know what it is that you might be really, have a burning question about, or maybe you've been working with your angels for a while and you're feeling a little bit stuck in a certain area, or you feel like something isn't, quite right, or maybe you're not doing it right. I get that a lot from clients, and I can help clarify that for you. So feel free to type that in. I'll give you another second. We'll also give a couple seconds here to see who else might be popping in. And I hope we'll get some people on here. Oh, your video won't play. Dang it. That's so weird. I'm not techie, so I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to tell you unless you go out and come back in perhaps. Sometimes, I don't know, check your Wi-Fi network. If you have different networks, sometimes what I have to do is switch out of a specific network and go back in on a different one. That can sometimes help. Other than that, I don't really have any suggestions for you. I'm so sorry. Got my mug here, having a little coffee talk with everybody here. Do you guys remember that skit from Saturday Night Live with Mike Myers? Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm your host, Linda Richmond. We'll have coffee, we'll talk, right? Probably butchering the New York accent. That was funny though, I remember that from back in the day. So, okay, well, I don't know what Carol's got going on there, but what I thought too, maybe might help is to share a little bit about my backstory, because some of you have been watching my videos for a while and you might be wondering, well, what the heck makes her an expert on this stuff? And so let me just share a little bit about that with you. So from about the time that I was 12, I was really drawn to, oh wait, okay, we've got Carol back. Okay, Carol's back. Then I'll get into the story. Okay, so Carol's been seeing number sequences, 444, 222, 111. What the heck does that mean? Yeah, number sequences, that's a big one, and it's part of my story, so I'll share that in a bit. But so each number actually has kind of an interpretation. 4s are specifically angel numbers, meaning the angels are with you, we hear you, we are listening to everything you're asking, we are getting to work on that right away. So sometimes you'll see the 444 when you feel like just need that reassurance. Maybe you've been asking them for help with something and you haven't really seen anything happening yet. Or you're wondering, like, are you hearing me? Are you guys doing anything? Like, am I just going crazy here, making this up, thinking that you're doing stuff and you're not, but they are. And so when they feel that you need that reassurance, they'll give you the 444 to kind of like, be like, yeah, we're here, we hear you, relax, we're on it. okay? 222 is, you know, keep the faith. Same thing, right? So you've been asking, maybe you haven't been seeing a lot of evidence yet of stuff. And remember, it's not that they're not doing anything, it's that they have, you know, to lay some groundwork and some foundation. So even if you're not seeing stuff happening, it's not that they're lazy. They are busy. They're doing stuff, but it's all behind the scenes. It's kind of like a plant. You know, when you put the seed in, it's the roots have to form first, right? Before the seedling can shoot up. So you don't see the roots coming, you know, growing and getting nice and strong, but that's kind of what they're doing. They're doing all that behind the scenes stuff. So when you see 222, it's that reassurance, keep the faith. We are here. We are on it. And the ones, you know, 11, 11, 11, 111, whatever 11, is that really strong reminder to watch your thinking, to really mind your mind, as I say, because every thought has a vibration, a powerful vibration, and whatever you're thinking is going to lead to what you're feeling, and all together that is sending out these vibrations to the universe that it will grab onto and respond to. So if you're always thinking, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, this is too hard, I don't have enough money, you know, all those things, then you're gonna keep getting things back to you that's hard and you can't do it and you don't have enough money, right? So you wanna make sure you're minding your mind and what you're sending out, what you're emitting is positive for what you want, right? And I know it's hard, we don't live in a perfect world, right? We have, you know, problems, we have concerns. The trick is not to stay in that though, to recognize that you're feeling that, but get yourself turned around to the other side of joy and excitement and happiness, because that's what you want to be sending out to the universe. So when you recognize that you're feeling maybe not so great, some tricks that you can use to switch your vibration is, first of all, gratitude. It's the easiest because you can do it anywhere. It doesn't cost anything. You can even do it in line at the grocery store, in the bank, or wherever you are, in your car. Recognize you're feeling not so great and then say, but you know what? I have to say I'm really grateful for, and fill in the blank with something that you truly feel, and say why. You know, a lot of people keep a gratitude journal, but they don't say why they're grateful. And it's the why that is going to, you know, make you feel the feelings of gratitude. That's going to really start to send that signal, because it's more about your feelings than it is about your thinking. The other times 111 or 1111 will come up is when you haven't been asking your angels for help and you've kind of forgotten that you have them as your spiritual support. So it's kind of like a tap on the shoulder where they're going, hello, hello, remember me? Remember us? Come on, give us something to do, right? We want to help you. And so that you know, in order for them to remember, help you, you have to ask, because you have free will, and they are not allowed by that law of free will to interfere. You know, angels aren't rule breakers, right? They're going to follow the rules. They're not allowed to interfere in your life unless you ask. And the only exception to that rule is if it is a matter of life and death and it is not your time. They will definitely step in. You've probably heard all kinds of stories like that, right? Books have been written, movies, all that sort of stuff. Right? So in that instance, they will help you, but other than that, you need to ask. So if you haven't been asking for help, they're kind of like, what are you waiting for? We're here twiddling our thumbs, waiting for you to give us something to do, right? So that is also sometimes when they will show you the 1111, okay? Does that make sense, Carol? I'll give you a second to let me know if that clarifies things, or if you have any subsequent questions. I see a couple other people are joining. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing a live Q&A, so feel free to share where you are from, who's on live, and if you have a question, go ahead and type it in and I will get to your question. Carol was just asking about number sequences and what they mean. So quick recap is 4s are angels are saying, we hear you, we are with you, we are working on things for you. It's that reassurance you need when you can't see evidence of their help yet. The 2s are, you know, kind of keep the faith. Again, they kind of go together, the 2s and the 4s, so you might see combinations of that working together to let you know that they hear you. And the 1s is to remember to mind what you're thinking, because you're manifesting everything. And you don't want to manifest the stuff you don't want, you want to manifest the stuff you do want. And if you haven't been asking your angels for help recently, you may also be seeing the 1s, because it's like they're reminding you, hello, we're here, like give us something to do, okay? I don't get, oh, you can't get your video to play. I really don't understand. shoot, I don't know how to, what to suggest with that, Carol, unless you could try it on another device. That would be the only other thing. If you have a phone and a laptop, maybe try on one, or an iPad or something. Shoot, I really don't know what's going on. All right, so, and in the meantime, does anybody else have another question that they want to ask? Remember, may you always have an angel by your side. All right, so I was saying earlier that I was going to share a little bit about my story with you guys, just to give you the background as to what makes me an expert on this stuff. So pretty much from the time I was about 12, I was drawn to study and learn all that I could about metaphysics, spirituality, just kind of back then what they would consider weird stuff. And I'd go to the library with my friends, and they'd all be coming home with their Judy Blume books, and I would be off in the grown-up section, you know, trying to read these books. And back then, you know, that material, I mean, it's pretty mainstream today. Back then it was considered occult, right? So I wasn't even able to sign them out. I had to sit down in the stacks reading these books, you know, and trying to learn as much as I could. And I remember in grade 6, I was really into astrology. I did everybody's astrology chart in my class. And it just grew from there. You know, I just couldn't get enough of this information, and learned all I could. And when I was in my teens, I started working with cards, and mostly for myself, to help guide me through different things and difficult situations in my life. And maybe kind of did a couple readings for some friends, but not really. You know, and then it was time to consider, what are you going to be when you grow up, right? So nobody ever would have said, oh, keep going, you know, this can be a career path for you. So I went to school with the intention of going to law school. And in my 3rd year of university, my dad passed away. So really forced me to reassess a lot of things and figure out where my true strengths were. And I was a great communicator, great writer. So I ended up graduating university and then going off and doing post-grad work in public relations and corporate communications. And right out of school, every single job, pretty much with a couple small exceptions, every job that I had was a nightmare. It was pretty much a scene out of The Devil Wears Prada, if you've seen that movie. Yeah. And, you know, workplace bullying, just crap. And, you know, I just really was not happy. My husband was actually quite worried for me because I was just so unhappy. I was so not myself. And, you know, we kind of had come to a decision that we were going to start our family. And I thought, hooray, it's my out, right? I get out of this. And so after my daughter was born, I loved staying home, and then, you know, figured, we do want to have more children. So when she was around 2, I went back to work just long enough so I could qualify pretty much to go back on maternity leave. There was a 4-year gap. So I worked about 4 years, you know, and then had my son. And after him, I couldn't do it anymore. I said, that's it, I'm out. So we were very, very blessed. I was able to be home with my children. I know so many women would give anything to be able to do that. And, you know, I was home with them, but I was very unhappy. I felt like there was something more that I was supposed to be doing with my life, and I could not figure out what that was. And it really weighed on me, and so much guilt and shame that I carried, because on the surface, I had the perfect life. You know, 2 healthy children, I was home with them, we had a nice home, we traveled, a great husband, we were all healthy. Like, what the hell was my problem? Why would I be in this state of being so upset and sad and feeling disconnected from my purpose? And so, like I said, I carried a lot of guilt and shame for that, and it really, really spiraled me into a not so great place. And I remember sitting at my kitchen table one day with tears just streaming down my face, you know, wondering if I ceased to exist in that moment, would anyone even care? It was a pretty not great place to be, let me tell you. And it wasn't long after this that every single time I looked at the clock, it was 11:11, 1:11, 4:11, like all these 11s, right? So we just talked about the numbers. And I had no idea what this was. I was like, what the heck? You know, I asked my husband, do you see any of this? And he's kind of looking at me like I had 3 heads, right? I'm like, okay, never mind, never mind. And then one day I'm talking to my mom on the phone, and she lived, you know, all the way on the other side of Canada. And I'm like, oh, what's new, blah, blah, you know. And she was telling me how she went to go see a medium with some friends. And she's like, well, I had to ask, why am I seeing 11s? Right? I hadn't told my mom this was happening to me. And here it is happening to her. So as she's telling me this, the hair on the back of my neck is standing up. And I'm thinking, what the heck? You know, so basically she was told it's a sign that the angels use, like I said, it's a tap, right, to get her attention and to start working with them. So she was recommended to read this wonderful book by Doreen Virtue called Healing with the Angels. So she told me the name of that book. I hung up the phone. I think I jumped in the car, ran to the bookstore, read this book, and it just kind of started that, you know, that lit that fire back under me that I had when I was younger, when I was learning all I could. So of course I started reading everything I could by Doreen. I found somebody locally who had done a certification with her. I had angel reading done. I started to mentor with this other woman, learning how to work more with the angel cards. I started working with them more for myself so that again I could help kind of get me out of the state that I was in, and then started to share with a few friends who told some people, and they told some people, and they told some people, and all of a sudden things just started to happen. I wasn't advertising, I wasn't really in business. People were coming to me for these angel card readings, and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of see what's going on here. And at that time I felt like it really spoke to me. It really felt right. It was like, finally I figured out what my true purpose is. It wasn't like all those jobs I had before where every time I had a job it felt like a coat that didn't fit right. This fit. It felt so good. And so at that time I decided I wanted to go off and get certified. I did my training with Doreen Virtue. I am a certified angel therapy practitioner. And I'm so sorry, Carol, that you can't get on this video. Hi, Priya. You can come back, hopefully, Carol, and watch the replay. I became a certified angel therapy practitioner, and I decided to launch my business. It was hard, it was scary. I had a lot of fear about, you know, coming out of the spiritual closet, but I did it. And from that moment on, and when I did it, I thought, frig, what took me so long? You know, people were supportive. I didn't lose friends. Everybody was like, yeah, so we know that's who you are. And, you know, that was the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful new beginning. And here I am today, able to teach others how to connect with their angels so that they can get clear, accurate, reliable guidance to any question they have to help them in all areas of their life, whether it's finances, relationships, career, health, whatever. Your angels are there and they want to help you. And it's not like it's for the chosen few. Everybody can learn this. Everybody can learn this. So that's a little bit about my history, how I started doing this work that I'm doing now, teaching, coaching, speaking, sharing this out because I don't want it to be, you know, in the closet anymore. I feel like this is something now people need more than ever. Our world is crazy. There's a lot of insane stuff going on, and too often everybody's running outside of themselves for answers, right? They're like, what should I do about this? And what should I do about that? And they have major decisions they need to make. And especially if you're in business for yourself, in the span of 5 minutes, you can be making a ton of decisions. And some of them can be agonizing, right? And you're like, what do? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. If I do this, is it gonna work out? What do I do, right? And so when you work with your angels, it just takes that away. It takes the stress away, it takes the worry away, it takes the agonizing away, brings more peace and ease to everything. And whether you have a business or you don't have a business, who doesn't want more peace in their life, right? So that's what I'm here to do. It's to share with you guys how you can do this too, so that you can experience more peace and ease in your life. And if you do have a business, make your business way easier, because I truly believe this. The number one secret to success they don't share in any business school is how to tap into your inner voice and listen and let that be your guidance system. Right? They'll teach sales, they'll teach marketing, they'll teach negotiation, they teach all of that stuff. But when you're forced with those decisions, especially if it revolves around money, you need to be able to act quickly and without delay and not have to agonize. So when you have a true connection with that inner guidance that comes from, angels and source and all of that, then you make those decisions lickety-split. And you always feel like you're being guided. The action you're taking is keeping you on your path instead of, you listening to your head, which will always take you on a crazy detour ride. And it's going to take you a lot longer and cost you a lot more money to get where you're going. So that's that. I hope that gives you a little bit of background as to why I'm doing the work that I'm doing. And Carol's back. Yay, Carol. Carol has another question. When you keep having multiple intuitive feelings on ideas, what's the best way to ask for some direction on which to pursue? I love this. Yeah, so the angels can actually help you prioritize. A lot of times we have so many ideas, all these great things, and we're like, have these to-do lists, and we're like, I feel, overwhelmed. What do I do? And honestly, just go outside and ask. Say, and the reason why I'm saying go outside is because we connect better. There's something about nature. The minute you go out there, you just turn off your busy brain, for the most part, right? So if you go outside, connect to nature, stick your bare feet in the grass, get grounded. Right? Do some deep breathing and then just say, angels, please share with me the number one thing I need to focus on right now. And you'll get a sense of it. You'll get a thought that comes in. You'll get a gut feeling that comes in, right? The other thing that you can do is if you already have an idea on which one you think is the best and the most optimal. I don't like to use best or should or whatever because it's very judgmental. Who's to say what's best, right? So if you have an idea of one that feels stronger than all the other ones and you think that's the main one, you can say, angels, I feel like you're guiding me to do blah, blah, right? If this is optimal, please show me a clear sign in the physical world that I will easily recognize in the next, and I usually say 48 hours, right? Give them a time frame. And then watch for what's gonna show up. Now, the typical signs they'll give you are things like finding coins, right? You probably heard pennies from heaven, right? You may find coins, you may find feathers, you may start seeing those number sequences to let you know that you're on the right track. You may see birds and or butterflies, but usually in like an unusual number or an unusual circumstance. Okay, but they don't have to be real. They could be on TV, in a picture, a piece of clothing, something like that. Or it could be none of that. It could be something so significant to you though that you just know. Like we get that and you're like, boy, that's my sign, right? So you just know. So that's what you can do when you feel kind of like pulled in a certain direction and you're not quite sure. Now, if they're all even Steven, let's say all these ideas are kind of coming to you and you're like, these are all great. Which one do I do? Then you can kind of sit with each one. Close your eyes. If you can do it outside, this is even better. Close your eyes, sit outside and think of that one thing. And notice what your body is doing. Notice what your body is doing. Your body is the most accurate divination tool we have, but we've gotten so removed from listening to our bodies. So notice, as you think about that, if I were to do this, picture that in your mind, what does that all look like, right? And kind of bring up the feeling of you doing that, right? And feel what that feels like. Is that bringing up butterflies of excitement? Is it kind of making you smile? Is it, giving you kind of shivers? Right? Or are you feeling like, are you actually doing this? Are you hunching your shoulders? Are you clenching anything in your jaw? Is there like something nasty going on in your stomach? Like you're just kind of feeling like, you get a yucky feeling there. Notice what your body is telling you. That is going to help guide you. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any subsequent question from that. You're also seeing 7 combinations, 7-7, 7-7-7. 7s are, you're on the right path. So that's the sign they may show you. If you ask angels, is this optimal for me? And then you see 7s, they're like, you're on the right path. So there you go. So you may see that as your sign when you ask for some confirmation. And if you don't understand kind of the guidance they're showing you, ask them to show it to you in a different way. This was huge when I figured this out, because I thought I was stuck with whatever they showed me, you know, figure it out or don't figure it out, that's what you get. And the correct thing is no. If you don't get what they're showing you, you can probe. Say, I have no clue what the hell you're showing me here. Give it to me in a way that I'll understand it better, and they'll do that for you. Okay, a lot of people don't know. They're like, you can do that? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh. So that is huge. Like I said, when I figured that out, that was like, open the doors so wide. Just checking in on my time. I'm gonna have to wrap up shortly here, but who else has a question? Priya, I don't know if you're still on. If you have a question, please feel free to ask. And I'm just trying to think of some of the other common questions that people ask, because, you know, I kind of get the same things over and over. You know, obviously the steps to connect with your angels are not difficult. Ask. Like I said, ask for assistance for whatever it is. Could be something little, could be something big. A lot of times people only think to call on their angels when it's monumental, right? When something's reached a crisis. But they're there all the time. They can help you with little things, tiny things. I've used them so many times to get a parking spot when I'm in a hurry. You know, I've asked for free coffee or tea at Starbucks. Seriously, you know, like you can ask for little things. It doesn't, you know, because they know the little things add up to being a big annoyance. And remember, their job is to enact peace on earth, one person at a time. They want to make your life more peaceful, my life more peaceful, so on and so on and so on, right? So ask for little stuff, and then pay attention to their guidance. So this is the question I often get asked: well, what does guidance look like? How do I know I'm being guided? The key thing you want to look for is repeated, that is the word, repeated, and these 4 things. Things you're seeing, things you're hearing, things you're feeling, or things you have a knowingness about. It's kind of the same way we receive information in our physical world, right? We get information through our sight, through what we're hearing, through what we're feeling, and all of that. So it's the same way they will communicate with you. If you keep seeing certain things over and over again, might be, you know, like the number sequences that we talked about, it might be a repetitive dream that you're having, or a theme in the dream, or an object in your dream that's repeating. You might see words and phrases over and over. You might actually kind of see like a movie playing out in front of you with things, you know, or if you're meditating, you might have the same kind of visions that come up in your meditations. So that's one way. You might get things you're hearing, and it's usually in your own voice, and it's like a thought, but it's got a voice to it, if that makes sense, right? So you might be like going through doing your day, and then all of a sudden, bang, something comes in, and you're like, oh, and it makes you pay attention, right? You're like, oh, I haven't thought of that before. That's kind of a cool idea, right? Or you're asking, you know, angels, I really need to solve this problem, and all of a sudden something comes in, and you're like a really creative way to solve the problem you wouldn't have thought of, right? And it's in your voice. But it's usually in one ear, more than I'm pointing on this side because I always get it in my right ear. Or it could be things, though, that you're hearing in your physical world. So overheard conversations that are repeating, songs that you keep hearing over and over and over again. So Google the lyrics. There's probably a message in there for you. I'll pretty much guarantee there's one that will pop out at you. Feelings. A lot of people are feelers. They know. They get repeated gut feelings about something over and over, right? But they tend to sometimes not listen. Remember what I said earlier? Your body is the most accurate divination tool you have. Please listen to it, okay? Always listen to it. It will not lead you astray. And finally, a knowingness. Now, this is more rare, but there are people who just have a knowingness about things. They kind of get these divine downloads. It's like, bang, it's there, right? And they're like, I don't know how I know this. I just know it. And they don't question it. They just know it because they know it. These are people who can usually put things together without having to read instructions, right? And they assume that like it's common knowledge. They think, well, doesn't everybody know this? So they kind of will, you know, discount it because they think everybody knows it, but they don't. And oh, thanks, Copelia. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, it's 12:30 in the morning for you. Oh, well, thank you for tuning in. I'm not sure where you are, but geez, that's far. So thank you for watching so much. Have a good sleep and keep tuning in here. That's so awesome. so yeah, so like, you know, they just discount this, like, well, everybody must know this. It's not anything special, right? And so they don't really pay attention to it. But that knowingness is coming from somewhere. And it's said that a lot of the great inventors actually got their ideas this way. They were divine downloads. It was like, bang, here, you know, and they were like, wow. And they ran with it. Oh, awesome, Perth. Woo, I will love to visit there. My husband's been, I have not, but I hear it's gorgeous. So that's fantastic. Please try to come in tomorrow morning, my time. I don't know what that is for you, but I do a daily angel guidance message. It would be lovely to have you here, Coppelia. Times vary, so if you can't get on live, then jump back on this page though to catch the replay. And thank you again for sharing your time with me today and for being here. Love that. So that's how you watch for guidance. You know, like I said, what you're seeing repeatedly, what you're hearing repeatedly, what is feeling repeatedly, and what you just have a knowingness about. Now, it's great if you get the guidance. You can get guidance till the freaking cows come home, but if you don't do anything with it, they can't fully help you. So the most important step in this whole equation is to take action. Freaking do it. You know, if you're getting guidance, like pick up the phone and call somebody, call them, even if it makes no sense, right? And this is where you're going to just have to get good at practicing. So I tell people the only way to get good at this is to test it out. So you get guidance and you follow it and you see what happens. You get guidance and you don't follow it and you see what happens, and then you see where you have a better track record, right? What happens when you do more of this? What happens if you do this, and see which side works better for you. That's it. And you know, when you do that and you start getting this going back and forth with the angels, it becomes like a well-oiled machine, I say. It's when it's like that red carpet effect happens, right? And that, what I mean by that is, that's when it's like all of a sudden the right people are showing up for you, opportunities are showing up for you, the money that you need is there to support you, everything is lining up. This is the benefit of working with your angels. And they always show me, it's like an ace, you know, the card from a deck of cards, the ace. When you work with them, it's like having an ace in your pocket, meaning you kind of have one up on everybody else out there who's doing life the hard way. They're not getting assistance from their spiritual support team. I mean, you have them, why the hell wouldn't you work with them, right? Right? It's like, let's say you came into your kitchen one morning and you saw the most beautifully wrapped gift you've ever seen in your life, and the card said, to you from God or source or whatever your beliefs are. Wouldn't you want to open it? Well, the angels are a gift from creation, from God, from source, to help make our lives easier. So open the gift and get going. Start working with them. Start giving them something to do, and start practicing listening for their guidance. And you're going to be well on your way to having things happen a lot smoother in your life, let me tell you. Okay, it's not easy street. Not saying you sit with your feet up and drink Starbucks all day. You got to do the work. But what you are going to be putting your energy into is what you're being guided to do, which is going to get you there faster and further, right? So I hope that makes sense. Guys, I got to boot out of here to get to my event. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. And if you would like to share this out, that would be awesome. I just want to get this message out to everybody. And don't forget, you can still ask a question if you're watching this on the replay. I will go back through the feed. I will answer your questions. And I have a special resource I want to gift you all, but I'm having a techno whatever, so the link isn't working. But what it is a link to 3 videos that I have. And it's kind of takes today's conversation the next step, right? It's called the 3 essential steps to getting anything you want in life. And they're totally free. There's no charge for these videos. If you would like to get your hands on them, just type me. Just put ME in the comments below, and I'll make sure when the link is fixed that I get that to you so that you can go ahead and grab your videos. I don't want anybody to miss out. So thank you again for watching. Tune in tomorrow morning. I'll be back with a daily angel guidance message. And have a fabulous day, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Take care.